We're gonna go through some cringe on Facebook today, or just really cringe that can appear on all sorts of other social media in general. Just, dumb quotes. A lot of these are like relationship quotes because I find a lot of relationship quotes, especially in particular on Facebook, just really fucking cringe. And there's a couple others that I'll include in this with this too, like typical boomer bullshit that they put out, stuff like that one uncle that's always never has anything nice to say about anything will put out on Facebook and all that shit or whatever that you may have. And yeah, we're just gonna get into this right now. So here's the first one here. And at the top here it says Gen Zero, which is so clever, I never would have thought of that before. I never would have thought of saying something like that, but yeah. Apparently that's clever to people whose IQs probably hover around like 70, but okay. But this post says, my generation will decide the future, and it's supposed to be some younger person, stereotypical, like, dyed hair and all that shit. Just typical stereotype that some of these boomers will put on young people. Not all of them, not, stereotyping boomers either, but there are some boomers out there that will post shit like this. And honestly, this just shows you're just making generalizations and you're talking out your ass just to try to make yourself look like you're smart when this doesn't make you look smart. It makes you look like just a dumbass who makes generalizations based on literally fucking nothing. Or maybe one or two young people you may see somewhere, and act like that's the entirety of what young people are when they aren't. And at the bottom, of course, it says, your generation can't even decide if they're a boy or a girl. Yeah, way to make generalizations, like I said, and I'm someone who is in his 20s right now, and I guess, that could refer to people around my generation. I mean, it says Gen Z and it says Gen Zero at the front, which is kind of my generation, but I know plenty of people my generation that aren't like this. In fact, most aren't. So, and even if there are a few people like that, like, who even gives a fuck? It's not like it's really affecting your life, unless they're one of these whiny little pussies that, constantly acts like, they have this victim complex and all that shit, and they constantly whine about it, maybe. But this is like the worst way to go about that sort of thing, just making generalizations like, oh, these youngsters don't know whether they're a boy or a girl. Not like, get the fuck out of here. Whoever made this is probably, I'm guessing, above the age of 50 and probably needs to take their medication. I decided to make this one into a double one because I think both of these they're basically about the same thing. They say the same thing, but it's basically promoting cheating, saying, oh, they were gonna do it anyway, so why don't you just do it first? How about don't do it at all and move on? If you don't trust the person you're with, then like, why even be with them in the first place? Why not just leave if you really think they're gonna cheat that much? If you have suspicions that are that high for whatever reason, why not just leave the thing? I feel like a lot of people that post this have actually been cheated on, and they kind of have insecurities because of it and can't really come back from it, and kind of just refuse to a lot of the time and refuse to change. But nevertheless, this is the definition of get them before they get me type of thing, you know what I mean? And that's just a definition of toxic, that goes into being a toxic person altogether, you know what I mean? Like, being like this in any sort of situation, like, oh, I'm just gonna get them before they get me, I'm gonna act like an asshole to them first because I know they're gonna be an asshole to me. How about just walk away and not even bother with it if you really think that's going to happen, that they're going to treat you like shit? Why not just not even bother with it and go out with honor and be like, yep, they treated me like an asshole, but I'm just going to walk away and move on because it's not worth my time. And if your relationship fails because you have this mentality and you actually end up cheating on them and it turns out they didn't cheat on you, they had no intention of doing it or anything, and your relationship fails because you have this mentality, then that is 100% on you. That is not on the other person, that is on you. And if you have this mentality, you really need to take a step back and think, is this really a rational way to go about things? Why not just, move on, or just, let this sort of thing go unless I actually see, like, actual evidence or anything like that of them cheating or anything like that. Like seeing flirtatious messages or whatever, or they hang out with them behind your back outside of work or whatever, and don't tell you about it, like they hang out one-on-one. Like, unless you see stuff like that, then, why even have this type of mentality, oh, they're gonna cheat anyway, so I'm just gonna do it first. Like, even if they do end up cheating, like, just leave. You don't need to cheat back, just leave. And this one here is one of those, like, ones that comes across as somebody who's really, like, clingy and possessive and all that shit, but this one says, I'm too busy to text you isn't a valid excuse. Sending a text takes, like, 10 seconds, not even. So don't give me that. If you wanted to make me a priority, you would. And, yeah, that is true. Sending a text doesn't take that long. But what if I'm out, driving? What if I'm working? What if I'm doing other shit I need to be doing, like doing the fucking laundry, doing my dishes, or all sorts of other shit, taking a shower? Those things, sometimes you may not be able to be sitting behind your fucking phone while you're doing those things. And it's not anything against the other person, it's just they have other personal shit they need to do as well. And this comes across as the type of person who demands like 24 hours a day communication, which is totally unhealthy, because no matter what someone is to you, you're not owed 100% of anybody's time. It doesn't matter if, they're your mother, your father, your partner, your friend, whatever. You're not owed 100% of their time just because they're involved with you, And a lot of the people I see that have this mentality usually don't have a lot going for themselves to start with. Like, the common denominator with them is they have no job, they have no education, nothing of that to speak of, but yet they demand 100% of other people's time. And it's just, it's something that just really turns me off from people, Like, okay, you can ignore people, yes, so there's such thing as ignoring people, but, being possessive and clingy is also a thing. Not giving people enough personal space is also a thing, and that's what this comes across as, is someone who really doesn't know anything about personal space, or, that you're not owed 100% of anybody's time just because they're involved with you. Just learn boundaries in personal space, people. And here we are with one of these posts that reminds me of what an incel would post on one of these, like, corners of the internet or whatever, or on Reddit or whatever the hell, but this one says, just be tall, be in the top 20% range in terms of looks, don't be kind or loyal, be well endowed, and you have a lot of money and you can get almost any girl you want. Not necessarily true. I mean, having a lot of money can mean you are able to get people easier, but look at the long term of it, Being a good person is what will make you, or get you to keep somebody, at least most of the time, unless, they're the ones, that aren't interested or whatever. But this is just a completely unhealthy way to go about trying to pursue women, And, if you get rejected once or twice, it's not always that other person's fault, They could just be not interested in relationships in general at that point, or, they could be interested in somebody else already, and, whether one or those two of those things be true or whatever, then, just move on and don't take it so personal, you know what I mean, if you get rejected, I can get having feelings for someone for sure, but you need to learn how to, like, handle them instead of doing shit like this, being like, oh, if I just be an asshole, I can get any girl I want. No. Like, there may be a few that, may just sit there and tolerate it for a while, but after a while they're going to run away from you and realize that, hey, this isn't worth it, this guy's pretty toxic, I don't want to have anything to do with him. This is not the mentality you want to have if you want to keep a girl at all. Just saying. How to go about it is, hey, you may be interested in this person, but put their, well-being and happiness above it all. Don't try to impede on their happiness, by putting your personal feelings in the way and trying to put your personal feelings in the way of their happiness and well-being, because that's going to make people want to run away from you. And if there was ever a chance that you were going to, get with this person, it'll probably be crushed when you have that kind of mentality, where I'm just going to put my personal feelings first, it doesn't matter what the other person thinks, all that matters is my feelings. And I hate to say it, but the world doesn't revolve around your feelings, and it's not other people's responsibility for how you feel. It's your responsibility to learn how to handle those feelings, and if you can't handle those feelings, then learn how and talk to somebody about it, And yes, I can get, if you're really into somebody and you get rejected, it can sting. I totally get that thing. I've experienced that myself before. I think almost all of us have experienced it probably at some point. But a part of growing up and being an adult about the situation is just being like, hey, they're not interested, I'm just going to back off, I'm just going to, move on, and you just find something better to do, go out and enjoy life, go hang out with my friends, go find something productive to do with my time, or, if you want to, try and go for somebody else, that might be interested or whatever. But having this kind of mentality of, I'm just going to be an asshole because that's how you get women, right? Yeah, that's how it seems. No. That's how, you become an asshole, and that's how you become somebody who cannot, stick in a long-term relationship at all, because they have the mentality of, oh, I'm just going to be an asshole because that's how they keep women, right? No, you keep them by actually treating them like a gentleman, and if that doesn't work, then move on, and hey, at least you went out with honor, you got rejected, but hey, at least you went out with some honor, and you know, that's a better look than being the guy who's like, oh yeah, society's the problem, women are the problem, it's all them that are the problem, it's not me. And in a lot of these cases, it may not even be you that's the problem, and you need to stop taking it so personal every time you get rejected, because like I said, they could just be not interested in relationships, or they could even be interested in somebody else already, and that's not necessarily your fault at all. And you're not owed a relationship with anybody to start with. Nobody is owed a relationship with anybody, and this is what, you know, people like this seem to think a lot of the time from what I notice, and that's not true. But the gist of it is, just be yourself, be a nice person, don't be like this, what it's promoting in this post, because this is just promoting bad behavior. Just be a gentleman to them, be yourself, you know, just be nice, you know, be like, hey, I'm going to be the best me I can be for this person, and if that doesn't work out, then I'll just move on and not take it personal and be like, hey, better luck next time. That's the best way to handle, that's the way to handle it like an adult. This is not the way to handle this situation whatsoever, and I do not promote this post at all because it is just plain toxic and promoting toxic behavior. So yeah, that wraps up this video of Facebook cringe. I've seen a lot of other videos about this, but I thought I'd make one of my own. But yeah, I might make more of these in the future. I don't know, it just depends on if I find more cringe or not. There's not really going to be a set schedule for these types of videos, but I just thought I'd do one because, you know, Facebook is a place where you find a lot of cringe, and I thought I'd just put a few of them together in this video. So if you guys have any cringe you guys want me to see, I'll take a look at it, you know. I'll probably put my Discord server in the description so you guys can send me that or whatever you guys want to do. But yeah, I will catch you guys later. Peace out.